start doing that, instead of being nice, she will desire you sexually. Have you ever wondered why certain men walk into a room and immediately command attention, without trying? Why some men say less, do less, chase no one, and yet women lean into them, magnetized, drawn in without knowing why? And why, no matter how much you try to be kind, generous, thoughtful, and attentive, you still feel invisible? Here's what most men don't realize. A woman doesn't fall for you because you try hard. She respects and desires you when you don't need her to. This is the core principle of Stoic masculinity. And it starts with one powerful shift that changes everything, not just in your relationships, but in your entire life. Before we go deeper, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're serious about learning the inner code of masculine strength, peace, and self-command, this is where you need to be. Like this video to support the mission, and comment below. What's the hardest thing for you to let go of when dealing with a woman's behavior? Is it her silence, her mood swings, her rejection? Be real, because it's only from truth that we grow. Now, let's break this down. The Stoics taught that we should never be ruled by what we cannot control. That includes women's attention, affection, emotions, or reactions. Most men live their lives trying to win approval, get validation, and be chosen. But the moment you try to be chosen, you've already surrendered your power. A woman feels most attracted to a man who is not easily moved, not because he's playing a game, but because he has already chosen himself. He doesn't abandon himself for her attention. He doesn't shift his identity to gain access to her body. He doesn't chase what doesn't serve his peace. This is what it means to be detached from the outcome. It's not that you don't care about connection or intimacy, it's that you've mastered your emotions. You're no longer a slave to the highs and lows of her behavior. You walk away when your standards aren't met. You stand still when others are scrambling. You don't react when tested, you remain anchored. And that stability, that quiet, rooted presence, that's what women find deeply attractive. Not the guy who texts 10 times, not the one who shows up uninvited, not the one who tries to prove he's worthy. It's the one who makes it clear, I am the prize. I won't chase what is unsure of me. The problem is that modern men have been conditioned to believe the opposite. You're taught that if you just say the right things, do enough favors, show enough affection, you'll win her over. But that's not how desire works. That's how manipulation works. Real desire flows when there is a sense of earned access. A woman wants to feel that she's gaining something valuable when she enters your world, not that you're desperately trying to convince her to stay. So, here's the move that instantly earns a woman's respect. You stop needing her. You don't cut her off. You don't become cold or cruel. But you recognize that your energy, your attention, and your presence are not free. They are earned. Not through fear or punishment, but through high standards and inner calm. You don't try to prove your value, you become valuable through your discipline, your mission, your emotional control, your ability to walk away when things misalign with your peace. The man who can walk away without anger is 10 times more powerful than the man who screams to be heard. This is the foundation of self-command. You no longer orbit around anyone. You become your own center of gravity. That shift is what transforms a man from desperate to magnetic, from forgettable to unforgettable, from average to powerful. When a woman sees that you are not easily moved, that you are not chasing her, not seeking her approval, not folding for her moods, she becomes curious, then interested, then intrigued, and eventually she begins to lean in. You become a mystery, not because you're hiding, but because you're whole. Now let's talk about emotional independence. This is where Stoicism shines. You must be able to feel without reacting, to observe without judgment, and to act without needing applause. The man who needs nothing is the man who has everything. Women don't crave a man who does everything for them. They crave a man who doesn't need them to feel complete, who can love fully but walk freely, who doesn't over-explain himself because his actions are rooted in integrity, who listens more than he speaks, who speaks less but means more. This is how you become desired, not through seduction tricks or scripted lines, but through presence. Real, unshakable presence. And presence doesn't come from being loud or flashy, it comes from being calm, still, focused, clear. You train it like a muscle, by saying no more often, by meditating when your mind wants to run, by training your body instead of chasing pleasure, by being mindful in how you respond. You don't react to her tests, you let the storm pass while you remain unmoved. Imagine this. She ignores your message. Most men panic. They double text. They get emotional. They question their worth. But the Stoic man? He notices it. He doesn't internalize it. He doesn't create a story around it. He just moves on, calmly. She's drawn to that because your calm is rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. Stoicism teaches us that the only thing we truly control is our character. That's it. Not her feelings, not her decisions, not her past or her preferences, just your conduct. So you focus on what you can control: your words, your choices, your time, your tone, your posture, your eye contact, your breath. You show up fully in every moment, but you don't attach your identity to anyone else's behavior. This kind of detachment makes you dangerous in the best way. Not dangerous in violence, but in power. Power over your own mind. Power over your time. Power over what you allow into your space. That's why the Stoic man is desirable, because he doesn't seek to be desired. He is already whole. That wholeness becomes irresistible. You see, women feel safe around a man who doesn't need them. Why? Because he isn't trying to take anything. He isn't manipulating for affection. He isn't playing a role. He's simply present. And when she feels that presence, she feels safe to relax, open up, and express her desire naturally. This is the opposite of modern dating advice, which tells men to say this or do that or act high value. But real high value doesn't act, it simply is. The tree doesn't prove itself to the wind, it stands tall and rooted. You must become the same. You must stop trying to impress, stop trying to prove, stop trying to earn what should flow to you effortlessly when you are in alignment. And that alignment, it comes when you no longer negotiate your standards for attention, when you no longer beg for what you can attract, when you choose peace over performance. If she can't meet you in clarity, you walk. If she pulls away, you remain grounded. If she comes closer, you don't lose yourself. That's emotional dominance, not over others, but over self. You must become the man who cannot be moved by moods, flattery, or fear of loss. That's when you become powerful. That's when she starts to feel you, not just see you. So let me ask you again, are you still seeking her validation? Or are you living your mission? Are you still trying to be enough for someone else? Or are you enough for yourself? Because here's the ultimate truth. When you stop needing her, you finally become the man she can't stop thinking about. Let this truth sink in. Let it reshape how you move, how you speak, how you show up in every room. Let it remind you that you never needed to be more, only more centered, more present, more sovereign. A woman may be drawn to your looks, She may be entertained by your words, but she will only be captivated by your energy, and energy can't be faked. The more solid your presence becomes, the more effortlessly she desires you. Not because you chased her, but because she finally found a man who doesn't chase anyone. And remember, the most magnetic thing you can ever be is complete. If this spoke to you, share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Like the video to help it reach more men, and subscribe to stay on this journey of stoic strength, self-respect, and mastery. Now go live like the man who doesn't beg. Go live like the man who walks in silence but speaks with power. Go live like the man who is already enough. Because that's the man she respects. That's the man she desires. That's the man the world can't ignore.